Not too long ago, I had the pleasure of having a short conversation with that of Reverend Al Sharpton on his Sunday morning radio show. Now, he was talking about his wildly successful March on Wall Street that took place the day before, where he said that thousands of people showed up from all over the country to participate in the march due to Trump getting rid of DEI, and I guess asking those companies rather on Wall Street to invest in black businesses and black media, for lack of better words. Now, I called and asked him this. Check it out.
Let's go to D in Houston, Texas, Magic 102.1. D.
Hi, Reverend Al. I have a question about the stocks that you're going to be purchasing. Are any of those companies black-owned? And if not, wouldn't it be easier just to give the money to black-owned companies instead of white ones that will not relent to DEI?
No, we're going to do both. We're going to support black-owned buying some stock. Many black-owned companies, though, are not stock-based. Some of them are privately owned. But the reason that you help black business go into the big companies, for example, if we buy stock and buy shares in a Fortune 500 company that does business, part of our fighting DEI is why are you not doing subcontracts with black-owned businesses, which they are doing. Many black-owned firms that were doing financial, like pension fund investments, like black media needing advertising, were cut off when Trump got them to stop DEI. That is supporting black business. So the companies that we've jumped on, we've made them come back and start advertising again on black-owned media and come back in on dealing with some black service companies. So it's both and. We're going to support black businesses both ways.
Okay, because all the money that we spend in our community, it'd be easier just to, funnel that money to our own businesses and stop begging, white
I just answered you need to do both because you don't have enough black businesses in a lot of cities that we can just tell people to do that. We want to support
We don't have the businesses because we keep giving money to everybody else on our own business.
Let me answer you. You will get my answer. That will take longer than to hit General Motors and say, we want to come to your, we come in as shareholders. Why have you cut off dealing with black plant manufacturing right now?
How long did it take Black Wall Street when we was building Black Wall Street?
I have no idea.
And all the other black
You tell me how long did it take?
Well, it didn't take that long because we were shooting off those plants in the late 80s.
Tell me how long.
Right now.
All right, well, I'm telling you that I can go to one shareholders meeting with enough shareholders and turn that whole conversation around. And we've already started that process with some companies. What I'm saying is, why can't we do both and? You got companies out there now that need to have these contracts restored that are black owned. You have blacks right now, the radio stations that need these ads right now. That are not public companies where you can buy shares. Okay, wait a minute. We're not begging anybody if we're going in as shareholders. We are demanding as shareholders that you spend. Wait a minute. If you don't let me talk, I'm going to have to go to the next caller. You can't ask a question and not want to answer. We are not begging to go in as shareholders. They're saying as shareholders, why are you not doing business? Why are you not buying on Radio 1 when you were and we were getting consumers? Why are you not buying ads on Rolling Martin when you were and you were getting consumers? That's not begging. That's doing business. And we're going to do both. We're going to support our businesses. I know 50 businesses that don't have stock, that are privately owned. So you want to do both and not one or. Thank you for your call. Let me see if I can.
So as you saw there, or heard rather, I asked him, are any of those companies black owned? And if not, wouldn't it be easier just to give black owned businesses that money directly, right? Instead of giving white owned companies that got billions of dollars, more black dollars. And of course he, said, well, we're going to do both, right? I didn't get the other part of it in regards to whether they were going to directly give money to black businesses. But basically the premise was to invest in those companies so that I guess we can have a say so, sort of like a seat at the table type of thing, right? Well, of course, he talked about Fortune 500 companies. And the thing about the Fortune 500 companies, we got to remember that they are on the stock market. So if we invest black dollars into the stock market, it's a risk, right? It's a gamble. So let's say the stock market crashes. Well, there goes our money. So to me, we would have been better off giving that money to black owned businesses. Now, again, he mentioned DEI due to Trump cutting out, the money and stuff, the programs, and that directly affected black owned media. Now, again, I challenged him on giving money to our own companies. And then I also asked him, how long did it take to build Black Wall Street? Now, with that, that's kind of where it got sticky because he kept on wanting to cut me off. Now, what I was going to say is, Well, our ancestors left those plantations, in the mid 1800s. And so we know that the Black Wall Streets, the Slocums, the Allentowns, the Rosewoods, those were built in the early 1900s, right? So in the larger scheme of things, it didn't really take that long. But see, the other thing that got me to thinking after the phone call is, he is, and a lot of other, Black Boule and all that, they're not really interested in saying, hey, let's build our own businesses, right? And it also makes me think they don't have faith in Black businesses. If for them, and listen, I don't want to get into no speculation, but I have my theory. For them, it's easier to go, because as y'all heard him say, we're going to hit GM, right? It's easier for them to go shake down these companies, say, hey, give us this, that, and the other, right? Now, should they be giving us something? I don't know. Yes, we're consumers. Yeah, you would think they would say, hey, y'all Black people, y'all spend a lot of money. Here is something for your communities, right? They don't necessarily have to do that anymore because Trump told them not to do it. But yeah, they don't have a lot of faith in Black-owned businesses. And they may or may not allegedly, right, be getting something from that. Right? Again, going along with that theory, let's go get a seat at the table instead of saying let's build our own. To me, that would be the easier route. But anyway, so I brought up the question of begging, right? Why are we begging? And he said, well, we're not begging, we're demanding. And what I was trying to say, and he cut me off again, was, well, isn't demanding a form of begging? To me, it is, right? But again, Reverend Al Sharpton, he's using his influence per se to pretend like he's helping Black people. But I think, in my opinion, he's really just helping himself. Now, at the end of that, you heard him say, platforms like Roland Martin could get the funding, for lack of better words, right? But now under the Trump administration, he's not able to get that. But y'all might remember, I think it was 2023, when he was crying, he being rolling about PepsiCo not investing in Black media. And, he went on and even made the statement that he was going to stop eating grandma cookies. Y'all do with that what you will, okay? But the point that I'm making is, even during the Biden administration, Black-owned media per se was not getting the investments or the money from these corporations, even under a Democratic Party. So it's not that it's just Trump, it's all of them. But before I leave, I want to say this. It has always been said that if we as Black people here in America take 10% of the money that we earn, right? It is said that by the end of this year, sometime next year, we'll see about $2 trillion. If we take 10% of that and invest in our own community, we can build businesses, we can hire more Black people, we can stabilize our local economies, right? And with that, we can even stave off gentrification because we can afford to stay in our own communities. And with that, those Black-owned businesses that are now getting 10% of the money we bring in, they can say, hey, we need to do some advertising on the Demetra Kaye show, on African Diaspora News Channel, and Roland Martin if they want to do that, right? Now, Sharpton, they could say that. We don't have to go and try to shake these companies down and say, hey, give us some money. And the other thing, too, is, Al Sharpton, Roland Martin, they can also say, hey, Black people, there are Black-owned, snack companies and things like that. Let's give the money to them. Let's stop giving PepsiCo our dollars. We don't need to eat it no way because it ain't no good, right? Let's stop giving these people money to tell us no. Let's give the money to our own snack food companies or whatever it is they got, right? So that we can build and stop begging. So anyway, y'all let me know what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, The Demetra Kaye Show.